What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out some brand new Blackwing support coming out in the Duelist Pack 20. Shoutouts to Crow Hogan. Obviously, Konami knows that Blackwings are one of the most popular archetypes of all time, and that characters just can't get enough of him. Premiering in, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and then he appeared in Arc V in the Synchro Dimension, so he came back, and yeah, man, it just seems like in every era of Yu-Gi-Oh! We just seem to get more and more Blackwings, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, there are 3 new cards to talk about. These cards are surprisingly fucking good. I honestly was just like, alright, they're gonna suck. They're probably not gonna be that good. Konami especially is going to be hesitant to make good Blackwings after Gofu and Steam the Cloak, had to be banned in the OCG. Steam is limited to 1, but yeah, these cards are actually pretty damn good. This boss monster is incredible. So let's go ahead and break down the new Blackwing cards. First up is Blackwing Full Armor Master. Alright, it's a level 10. It's a dark wing beast monster. It is still synchro, so Blackwings are, I don't know, maybe they'll get the link monster, maybe not. 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense. The materials are 1 Blackwing tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters to summon, so I don't actually think that it's all that difficult to summon. Maybe you pull off some shenanigans with like Vayu or something like that. Yeah, I don't think this card is actually that hard to summon. It might be a little bit, like you might have to jump through a little bit of hoops, but generally I think that this card is worth it. Effect number 1, it's unaffected by all other effects. So yeah, basically it's towers. It's even better than towers. This thing is better than towers and fucking masterpiece. Well, at least it's harder to kill because yeah, it's unaffected by everything. Now that does include your cards as well. So unfortunately, it means that you are not going to be able to use Kalutes on this thing, which kind of sucks, but it's all good. Effect number 2, each time a monster your opponent controls activates an effect, place 1 wedge counter on that monster when that effect resolves, maximum of 1 wedge counter on each monster. I saw that and I was like, this better be going somewhere really good, and it actually does go somewhere really good. Effect number 3, once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls that has a wedge counter. Take control of it. Oh, wow, you know what's cool about that? That doesn't say anything about actually giving the monster back. So basically, if your opponent uses a monster like effect, they sure as hell better make sure that that monster leaves the field. Otherwise, this guy is just going to fucking snatch steal their monster. And then effect 4 actually goes even further than that. It says once per turn during your end phase, you can destroy all face-up monsters on the field with wedge counters. So if your opponent happens to have a whole bunch of monsters on the field and they all just activate their effects and your opponent's like, well, you can only take 1 of them, okay, well, I'll just end my turn and I'll just blow up every single monster on your side of the field. Like, that's pretty damn good. Honestly, the only thing about this card that's bad is the fact that it's level 10, but this is the first boss monster in quite some time that I'm looking at and I'm like, dude, you're 100% worth it. You're basically a towers where you're unaffected by everything. If your opponent uses monster effects, you basically punish them by letting you snatch steal their shit or just blow all their cards up in the graveyard. I wish its attack was a little higher, maybe 3,500, that Ultimate Falcon level, but this is damn sure easier to summon than other monsters that have the level of protection. Like, so if you compare this to something like Ultimate Falcon, this card is way easier to summon than that. So next card we're going to talk about is Blackwing Simoom, the Poisonous Winds. And when I saw it was level 6, I got a little concerned. I was like, oh man, dude, I hope this card is really good because, people haven't really played Sirocco and Blackwings in a long time, since the 5Ds days. I know, the first regional I ever topped, Sirocco was like the master of the Mirror Mask. The card was amazing, but yeah, level 6 Blackwings, I was kind of scared about that, but it's okay, it's a very good card. It's level 6. Dark Wing Beast. It is 1,600 attack and 2,000 defense. Stats probably should be reversed, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Both of the effects, the effect is a hard once per turn. It says, if you control no monsters, you can banish 1 other Blackwing monster from your hand, place 1 Black Whirlwind directly from your deck in the spell and trap zone face up. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that is so good. Black Whirlwind is now searchable straight from the deck, baby. Let's go. It says, then you can send this card from either your hand to the graveyard, or immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon this card from your hand without tribute summoning a monster. So this is really good. Not only will this card immediately search Black Whirlwind, but then it summons itself as well, and obviously you're going to trigger the Black Whirlwind, which means you're going to replace the monster that you got rid of in your hand. Like, this is an excellent card so far. It goes on to say the black whirlwind placed by this effect is sent to the graveyard during the end phase and you take 1000 life points. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. I honestly feel like that is so inconsequential. First off, we're in the Vrain's era, so we have link monsters, which basically any deck can make, and as we get more of those link monsters, we're, inevitably going to get dark ones, so I don't really think that that is much of a punishment. Obviously, to me, it kind of seems like the new win condition of Blackwings is this new towers like boss monster, full armor master. So getting that on field is what you really need to be aspiring to go for, but you can still exceed summon, you can still link summon. I don't really think that there's a problem there. Another thing to note is if you happen to have Zephyros the Elite in your graveyard, you can actually save your Black Whirlwind because you can just bounce it to your hand, thus it can't go to the graveyard on the field. And even if it does go to the graveyard, like, that's not that big of a deal either, because as long as you get your Whirlwind search off, then your Whirlwind is basically paid for itself. Like, the monster that you banish, that pays for itself with Whirlwind, and then the Whirlwind pays for itself by giving you the search, so you're never actually losing out. And this card obviously will normal summon itself. This card is fantastic. Konami really made a well thought out high level monster, and usually when I see high level monsters, I'm like, oh god, this shit's gonna be unplayable. And my fears, I think, were justified, because if you look at the Arc V era, I mean, yeah, Gofu was broke as hell, but some of those other Blackwing cards were pretty fucking terrible, like the high level ones. So the final card is Blackwing Oster the Southwind, and spoiler alert, this card's actually pretty good too. Konami going 3 for 3 with Blackwings. How is that possible? Anyways, Blackwing Oster the Southwind. This is a level 4 Dark Wing Beast monster. This is actually a tuner, so if you use this and you use the Simon, it seems like those two should be able to make your towers pretty easily. This guy is 1300 attack, 0 defense, cannot be special summoned. This monster cannot be special summoned, so keep that in mind. You gotta normal summon it. Effect number 1, when this card is normal summoned, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower Blackwing monsters, special summon it in defense position. Very interesting that this is not a hard once per turn. I'm gonna go back to this effect in a second once I'm done reading the second effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard and activate one of these effects. Place one Blackwing counter, place black feather counters on one Blackwing dragon you control, equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. Does anyone ever play Blackwing dragon? Has anyone ever used that card? And I'm not talking about like Crow. I mean, seriously, no one actually uses that fucking card. Not in the 5Ds era, not during the Vrain's era. I don't think anyone's ever gonna play it, so I don't need to talk about that. Or you can place as many wedge counters as possible on face-up monsters your opponent controls, maximum 1 each. That might actually happen because the new Blackwing's Tower monster, yeah, it revolves around wedge counters, so that actually could happen very easily. And honestly, this card, I kind of feel like this is kind of power creep for something like Blizzard the Far North. I'm pretty sure that's what Blizzard's name is. It's been a long time since I've played the card. The reason that this card is obviously so good is there's a little something called Allure of Darkness. The entire Blackwing archetype is it is dark attribute. So this card can be activated turn 1 pretty consistently. Let's just give you a simple example. Let's just say that you had a Bora in your hand, activate Allure of Darkness, draw your 2 cards, banish the Bora, normal summon this, bam, get your Bora. You can go for a synchro summon of 8, which is, wow, that's an instant Omega. Who the fuck wouldn't want that? You can go for a link summon, a Witchling's Apprentice, if that's your cup of tea. You can stall the game out with like a number 41. Kind of feel like because of the Allure of Darkness, like this could legitimately be a 3 of. In fact, I even believe off the top of my head that cards for Black Feathers, which I think is a hard once per turn, that card banishes one Blackwing as well. So you could even go triple Allure in like 1 copy of cards for Black Feathers. I don't know if that card lets you special summon though. I might actually have to look that up. I went ahead and looked it up, and yeah, it doesn't let you special summon, unfortunately, so maybe scratch that idea or just run 1. Anything more than 1 is just kind of crazy, but there are enough ways in Blackwings to banish your cards, and yeah, I'm really looking at Allure of Darkness as like 100% a bona fide staple. I'm just loving the fact that if you allure like a non-tuner level 4, you can instantly make a play, like go into an Omega or go into something like kind of spicy, like a rank 4 or something like that. Honestly, I am super shocked. Konami has revealed revealed 3 cards, and they're all incredibly impressive. For fucking Blackwings, we know that they have a super big love affair with this deck, just like Blue Eyes, just like Dark Magician. Crow was by far and away the most popular character from 5Ds, even more popular than like Yusei, so doesn't surprise me that they're giving Blackwings more support. But what does surprise me is that, what does surprise me is that this support is actually fucking good. So you guys leave it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of these cards. I mean, maybe if they give a couple of other good cards, Blackwings might be competitive. I mean, if you make that Towers monster outside of your opponent kaijuing it, if you have something like a Solemn Strike, you're not going to be able to get that thing off the damn board easily. Like, seriously, your opponent's going to have to use Honest, or they're going to have to use something like a Borrow Load, a very risky play to hope they can crash into it, but most of those are going to be shut down by, Solemn Strike. So, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.